Let me ask you one very simple question, and I want you to be honest with yourself when you answer it in the comment section. Do you earn a salary? Do you consider yourself as educated or an employed person? Maybe you are doing better than most Nigerians around you, but yet at the end of every month, does it still feel like the money just disappears? Like no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try to be prudent, you barely are just surviving? If your answer is yes, this video is for you. Because what you are feeling is not your fault. It is not poor budgeting. It's not laziness. What you are experiencing, it has a name. It is called the collapse of Nigerian middle class. And it is happening quietly, painfully, right now to almost everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I cover Nigerian news, economic politics. I base on fact, no sentiment. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my video. Today, we're talking about something that affects millions of Nigeria and nobody seems to be making content for. It might not affect the rich per se or the poor, but this content is basically for the middle class, the bankers, the teachers, civil servants, the small business owners, the graduates grinding in Lagos, Abuja, and every other place entirely. This video is for them, for us. Let's get into it. I deal with sections in my video, so let's start with section 1. What does the middle class even mean in Nigeria? First of all, let's define what we're talking about, because in Nigeria, middle class does not mean what it means in UK or America. According to African Development Bank, Nigeria's middle class is estimated as just 23% of the population. And in Nigeria, the middle class typically comprises of individuals earning between 300,000 and 1.5 million. So check yourself. Where do you fall? So if you are earning somewhere around that range, maybe you are a banker, a lawyer, an engineer, a civil servant, or a decent grade, or a small business owner, you are technically in the middle class by Nigerian standard. How many of us are in the middle class? Now, here's what that used to mean. It meant you could pay your rent without panic. You could afford to eat 3 square meals a day without calculating every naira. You could send your children to a decent school. You could save little at the end of the month. You could even treat yourself occasionally. So let me ask you, does that sound like the life you are living today? For most Nigerians in that bracket, the answer is a honest no. And there are numbers to explain exactly why. Yes, let's go to section 2. The numbers that actually explain the pain, yeah? Let me give you the real numbers, because this is not just a feeling. This is pure mathematics. Number 1, petrol price. The prices of petrol surged by 541% over the past 5 years. Think about that. Your transport costs, your generator costs, the cost of moving goods, all of it more than 5 times what it used to be. Number 2, cooking gas. The price of cooking gas has risen by 178% over the same period. The thing you used to cook your family's food every day has increased in 178%. Number 3, your salary in dollars. This one will shock you, because an economist explained this. At 360 naira per dollar, a Nigerian worker went home with about $83 per month. Now, in terms of today, 1,005 thereabouts to a dollar. That same worker is earning just $46. So your naira salary may have increased, but your real purchasing power has almost been cut in half. Number 4 reason. What 70 naira minimum wage actually buys in Abuja, in Lagos, where rent for a modest 2-bedroom flat can cost between 800,000 to 1.2 million annually. The minimum wage of 70 naira barely covers 1/3 of a single person's actual living expenses, let alone family need. Number 5, grocery prices. Data shows that the grocery price index spiked dramatically in 2024, reflecting the intense price pressure that has fully reversed, even though headline inflation number come down slightly following the government rebasing the consumer price index. And this is the part that makes people angry. Economists are pointing that the decline in the headline inflation reflects methodical adjustment, not a sudden drop in actual prices, which is exactly why households continue to experience high prices despite the lower official inflation figure. In other words, in a layman language, let me break it down. The government changed how they measure inflation, but your garri is still expensive. Your tomato is still expensive. Your rent is still expensive. The numbers change, but our lives did not change. Section number 3. What the middle class is actually experiencing. Let's move away from data for a moment, because behind every number, there's a real Nigerian story. For millions of Nigerians, salaries no longer last beyond a few days after payment. And you can testify to that. Parents struggle to feed their children, yet they pay school fee. The rent keep rising. Electricity tariff continue to increase, while communities still experience poor power supply. Young Nigerians are among the hardest hit. Many graduates cannot even find a stable job, while those who are employed earn salary that cannot match their present reality. Some now work 2 to 3 jobs. Those who get jobs abroad cannot survive because sometimes the network, MTN, Airtel, is not good enough for them to survive with their remote job. A lady came out the other day and she was fired from her remote job. Despite working hard, everybody continued to sink deeper into financial difficulties. Even small business owners, they are not spared either. Business owners report that operating costs have exploded. There are now multiple tax, high spare part costs, bank charges, and diesel expenses are suffocating even small business owners. Companies that used to make 400,000 naira to 500,000 naira monthly are struggling to make 200,000 naira. Now, here's the part that makes the middle class situation uniquely painful and different from the very poor. Unlike the wealthy, the middle class cannot edge against inflation. And unlike the very poor, they often fall outside the scope of government social assistance program. They are too rich to get government palliatives. They are too poor to survive the economic storm. They are stuck in the middle, absorbing the weight of everything. When they start sharing palliative now, the middle class will want to stay away. But poor people can go there together to collect rice when Tinubu start to share rice. What used to be careful budgeting has turned into constant survival planning. Households that once lived modest but stable lives are struggling to meet basic needs. Section number 4. Where is this heading? Now let me tell you something that should genuinely alarm every Nigerian. The World Bank has projected that Nigeria's poverty rate could climb 62% by 2026, leaving an estimated 141 million people trapped in hardship. And you people still want to vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu next year. 62%. That means more than half of Nigeria's entire population could be living in penury, in poverty. And the middle class, that 23% that was supposed to be the backbone of the consumption, investment, and job creation, they are also going to sink fast into the poverty line. Economist Mukhtar Mohammed said it plainly. Nigeria's middle class has virtually disappeared, leaving the country divided between the very rich and the very poor. Yes, and when the middle class disappears, everything else suffers. Less consumption means businesses will close. Fewer businesses mean fewer jobs. Fewer jobs mean more poverty. Do you know how many businesses have closed up in Nigeria? Investors, foreign investors. And these fewer jobs means more poverty. More poverty means more insecurity, more desperation, more of everything we're already seeing on the street of Nigeria. This is not just an economic crisis. No. If it continues, it becomes a social crisis. And Nigeria has already seen what happened when enough people have nothing left to lose. You know what will happen? Section number 5. What needs to change? Now, I'm not going to leave you with problems without talking about what needs to happen, because this is Adeoti Abayomi. I would not just come here to complain. I think and I bring ideas. So, Nigeria, let's talk. What Nigerians actually need is a strong support for local food production. We need improved security for farmers, better public transportation system, and policies that can reduce the pressure on small businesses. The government also needs to be honest with itself. You cannot tell Nigerians that inflation is dropping when the same 5,000 naira that used to fill a market bag now fills a nylon bag. The living experience of an ordinary Nigerian must match the official statistics, and right now it does not. Labor unions are right to keep pushing. 70,000 naira does not even provide dignified living standard in 2026 in Nigeria. And any government that is serious about the middle class needs to think about what a living wage actually looks like in real terms, not just number on paper, which the Nigerian government is doing. The reform may be necessary, But necessary reforms still need to come with a safety net. You cannot remove the safety valve on the pressure cooker and then wonder why it is about to explode. Nigeria, which way? So let me ask you again. The question I started with is, you are educated, you are working, you are trying, and you are still struggling. Does that mean you failed? No, it means the system failed you. Nigerian middle class are not lazy. They are not irresponsible. They are just people who did everything right, got education, got a job, started a business, and are being swallowed by an economic crisis that they did not create, but they are fully absorbing. The question that every Nigerian needs to be asking Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other leaders right now is simple. When will the people who are holding the country together, the workers, the small business owners, the young graduates, finally get a government that protects them instead of the one that keep asking them to be patient? Instead of the one that keep milking them to pay taxes? Drop your answer in the comment section. I want to hear your personal story. How is the cost of living affect you? What has changed in your life since the last 2 years or 3 years? Tell me in the comment section. For me, I'll give a little bit of a story. Last week Sunday, went to the market to buy tomato. 1,000 naira. It was no more than a nylon bag. 1,000 naira. It was. I could not see it in the bag. This comment section is going to be powerful today. I would love every Nigerian watching this video right now to share their story in the comment section. Share this video, especially with someone who you think also have a story to tell. Somebody who you think that they are alone in this struggle. They are not alone. No. Millions of Nigerians are going through the exact same thing. Like this video so that more people can find it, and subscribe to this channel if you are not already subscribed. We will keep covering stories that affect Nigerians. We are not just here to just talk about politicians, celebrity, but we are here for you guys, for everyday people carrying this country on their back. I'll see you on the next one. God bless Nigeria and God bless you.